Hey there, folks! Tonight we're diving headfirst into one of Asia's biggest geopolitical hot potatoes, the ongoing saga of China and Taiwan. This is a story that has been brewing for decades, filled with complex layers of history, politics, and cultural identity. Buckle up, because this one's a doozy, full of history, politics, and enough tension to make a plate of noodles sweat. It's a tale that has captivated the attention of the world, and for good reason. Imagine a family feud so epic it spans decades, involves two governments claiming to be the real deal, and keeps the entire world on edge. This isn't just a local squabble, it's a conflict with global implications, affecting international relations, trade, and even military strategies. That's the China-Taiwan situation in a nutshell. Two sides, one strait, and a whole lot of tension. The Taiwan Strait isn't just a body of water, it's a symbol of the divide between two very different political ideologies and visions for the future. On one side we have the People's Republic of China, a global superpower with a booming economy, and a government that firmly believes Taiwan is a breakaway province that must be reunited with the mainland, by force if necessary. China's stance is rooted in a long history of territorial claims and national pride. On the other side is Taiwan, officially the Republic of China, a vibrant democracy with a unique culture and a fierce determination to maintain its independence. Taiwan's identity is shaped by its own history, culture, and democratic values, which stand in stark contrast to the mainland's authoritarian regime. It's a classic David versus Goliath story, but with much higher stakes. The outcome of this conflict could reshape the geopolitical landscape of Asia and beyond. So stay tuned as we unravel the complexities of this modern-day saga, exploring the past, present, and possible future of China and Taiwan. To understand this complex relationship, we need to rewind the clock back to the early 20th century. This was a period marked by significant upheaval and transformation in China, a nation that was struggling to find its identity amidst the chaos. China was in turmoil, grappling with internal strife and a crumbling monarchy. The Qing dynasty, which had ruled for centuries, was on the brink of collapse, leading to widespread uncertainty and fear among the population. From this chaos emerged two major political forces: the Chinese Communist Party led by Mao Zedong, and the Nationalist Party, or Kuomintang, led by Chiang Kai-shek. These two leaders had very different visions for China's future, setting the stage for a monumental struggle. Initially, these two parties cooperated to fight against foreign imperialism and warlords. They formed a united front, recognizing that their immediate goal was to rid China of external threats and internal fragmentation. However, their uneasy alliance crumbled after World War II, igniting a full-blown civil war in 1946. The ideological differences between the communists and nationalists became irreconcilable, leading to a brutal and protracted conflict. The communists, with their promises of land reform and social equality, gained widespread support, particularly in rural areas. They appealed to the peasants, who made up the majority of the population, by addressing their grievances and offering a vision of a more equitable society. The nationalists, despite receiving aid from the United States, struggled to maintain control. Their support base was primarily in the urban areas and among the elite, which made it difficult for them to garner the same level of grassroots support as the communists. The Civil War raged on, leaving a lasting legacy that would shape China's future for decades to come. By 1949, the writing was on the wall for the nationalists. The tide of the Chinese Civil War had turned decisively in favor of the communists, and the nationalist forces were in disarray, unable to stem the red tide sweeping across the mainland. The communists were on the verge of victory, their forces having captured key cities and regions, effectively sealing the fate of the nationalist government. And Chiang Kai-shek, facing imminent defeat, made the fateful decision to retreat to the island of Taiwan. This decision was not made lightly, as it meant abandoning the mainland and the dream of a unified China under nationalist rule. Taking with him the remnants of his government, army, and millions of refugees, Chiang Kai-shek sought to establish a stronghold on Taiwan. The exodus was chaotic and fraught with peril, as countless families were torn apart in the rush to escape the advancing communist forces. This exodus marked a turning point in the China-Taiwan saga. The mass migration to Taiwan was not just a physical relocation, but also a significant psychological shift, as the nationalists had to come to terms with their new reality. The communists established the People's Republic of China on the mainland, proclaiming a new era of socialist governance and promising to rebuild the nation after years of war and turmoil. Meanwhile, the nationalists set up shop in Taiwan, vowing to one day reclaim the mainland. They established a government in exile, maintaining the hope that they would eventually return to power in China. The Taiwan Strait, a narrow body of water separating the island from the mainland, became a symbolic and physical barrier between the two Chinas. This strait not only represented the geographical divide, but also the ideological chasm that had formed between the communist and nationalist visions for China's future. In the early years, both sides were locked in a tense standoff. The PRC bombarded islands controlled by the ROC, and both sides engaged in espionage and propaganda warfare. The international community was divided, with some countries recognizing the PRC and others recognizing the ROC as the legitimate government of China.
The United States, initially a staunch supporter of the ROC, gradually shifted its recognition to the PRC in 1979, a move that sent shockwaves through the region. However, the U.S. also passed the Taiwan Relations Act, pledging to provide Taiwan with the means to defend itself.
The One China Policy, a balancing act. The U.S. policy towards China and Taiwan is a delicate balancing act known as the One China Policy. Essentially, it means acknowledging the PRC's claim over Taiwan without explicitly endorsing it.
This ambiguity allows the U.S. to maintain relations with both sides while avoiding a direct confrontation with China. However, it also creates a constant source of tension and uncertainty in the region.
Economic powerhouse, political outlier Taiwan's transformation. While the political situation remained frozen in time, Taiwan underwent a remarkable transformation.
It shed its authoritarian past and embraced democracy, holding its first direct presidential election in 1996.
Economically, Taiwan became an Asian tiger, with a thriving tech industry and a global reputation for innovation. It's now a major player in the semiconductor market, producing chips that power everything from smartphones to fighter jets.
China's rise, assertions and tensions. As China's economic and military might grew, so did its assertiveness on the world stage.
Beijing has become increasingly vocal in its demands for Taiwan's reunification with the mainland, viewing any move towards formal independence as a red line.
China has stepped up military exercises near Taiwan, sending warships and fighter jets across the median line of the Taiwan Strait, a de facto maritime border that has long been respected by both sides. These actions have raised concerns about a potential invasion, particularly given Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
The Straits today, a delicate status quo. So, where do things stand today? The situation remains tense but stable, characterized by a delicate status quo that both sides are wary of upsetting.
Taiwan continues to assert its de facto independence, participating in international organizations as a separate entity and maintaining its own military.
China, however, has not renounced the use of force to achieve unification and continues to pressure Taiwan diplomatically and economically. The international dimension, a global flashpoint. The China-Taiwan issue is not just a regional concern, it's a global flashpoint with the potential to ignite a wider conflict.
The United States, while committed to its One China policy, has also made it clear that it opposes any unilateral attempts to change the status quo by force.
Other countries in the region, such as Japan, South Korea, and Australia, are also closely watching the situation, concerned about the implications for their own security.
The future of cross-strait relations, uncertain waters. The future of cross-strait relations remains uncertain.
Some analysts believe that China's growing military might make a future conflict more likely, while others argue that Beijing will continue to prioritize economic growth and avoid a costly war.
The outcome will depend on a complex interplay of factors, including China's internal political dynamics, Taiwan's resilience, and the international community's response.
One thing is for sure, the stakes are high and the world is watching closely. Stay informed, engage, and share your thoughts. Well, there you have it, folks. A crash course on the China-Taiwan conundrum. It's a complex issue with no easy answers, but understanding the historical context and current dynamics is crucial for navigating this geopolitical minefield. What are your thoughts on this long-standing conflict? Do you think a peaceful resolution is possible? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Express Econ Finance Insights for more in-depth analysis on the world's most pressing issues. Stay informed, stay engaged, and let's keep the conversation going.